To this day, Dublin-Scioto High School has an overwhelming diversity, but is that a plus? How does the diversity benefit Scioto?
I think the growing diversity in modern day schools is something that incredibly excites me as a professional. I get to work with students from all over the world from varying backgrounds, whether that be socioeconomic standpoints or just from different languages and cultures and things like that. It brings this ability for us to all celebrate our differences and learn from one another as compared to what we were in the past.
I think the growing diversity reflects the growing diversity all over the United States. Everywhere you look, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure the demographic data supports that, that's where this country is headed, and our public schools should resemble the same thing.
Have stereotypes and the social spectrum really changed a lot over the years?
Yeah, I think the social spectrum from back from the time that I was in high school, for instance, I think it has kind of evolved throughout time. For me personally, I remember whenever I was in high school, we did have those divisions of the jocks, we had the cheerleaders, we had kind of the nerdy kids who played, Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. And in a way, at that point, those different social groups were ostracized from one another. Rather than accepting and embracing our differences among those different classes and groups of people, we decided to kind of divide ourselves in our search for belonging.
That was certainly, as much as it was cliche, in many places there was a lot of truth to that, depending on where you were for the most part. But and you saw it everywhere, and that's not dissimilar to what you would know, what you all know through digital media, social media, and movies. We were limited to, for the most part, movies and television, but those stereotypes were everywhere, but we seem to perceive them to be the truth also. I think in a lot of that, what we perceive, there's usually a lot of underlying truth to go with it, whether it's right or wrong. I think lots of times there is some truth.
How does the diversity benefit Scioto?
I think something that's really exciting about the population that we serve here at Dublin-Scioto High School is how diverse our students, but not only students, but also faculty as well are. It gives us an opportunity to really learn from each other, from past experiences and things like that. And then I feel like it also provides us an opportunity to be better prepared for the future as a worldly global citizen who's aware of these different cultural backgrounds and things like that make up different individuals.
In 1,300 plus students and a whole lot of staff, I think we can just about find everything. And I mean that in a very positive way. The diversity in culture is obvious, but I'd like to talk more about the diversity in personalities and the diversity in how people see the same issue in 100 different ways. At the end of the day, I think that's what makes life pretty entertaining, that we're not all cut from the same cloth. But it certainly would be wonderful for us to be able to maybe relate without being quite so hurtful and quite so hateful. Clearly the tone in this country right now is not quite there, but maybe we're making some strides, and maybe we're going to start to see that pendulum swing back a little bit.
Scioto, like many other schools, will continue to remain diverse and grow all throughout the years.